too late at any age.
Good morning and welcome to the Indy Boomer Show. I'm Mary Pat McKee and I publish a magazine called Indy Boomer. We are sitting here this morning with Joni Collins. God, I had a blank. I drew a blank. I know who you are. She and I have talked many, many times. We're going to talk about Oak Street Health in just a moment. But as you can see on the screen there is our September cover, Mitch Daniels. Great man. You can pick it up at any Kroger store. Also Indianapolis and the surrounding areas. And then also we want to thank our sponsors, Noblesville Trophy and Logan Street Signs and Banners, for the opportunity to be able to sit here with Joni this morning and talk about things that we think are important to boomers and can help boomers, and that's why we're here. Joni, as I mentioned, is with Oak Street Health. They are one of our advertisers in our Boomer Plus section. And just to review, our Boomer Plus section is for boomers who are helping their parents, or possibly now, boomers who are in the later stages of the generation, maybe in their 70s, that need some help. And anyway, this is right here on the inside cover. But you guys are different.
We are.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. We have a different concept. Oak Street Health has been in Indianapolis for a little over 2.5 years, and we're excited to be here. What is really different about Oak Street Health, we are a primary health care physician's office, and what we do, our motto is to do what we can call comprehensive care and and managed care.
Right.
So typically, if a healthy person is going to the doctor maybe once a year, at Oak Street Health, we probably would go to the doctor 4 times a year, because we're thinking that probably, as we age, things happen to our bodies, and what we want to do is be on top of it.
Be preventative health.
Yes, it's preventative health.
Yeah, exactly.
And another thing is different. We have about 20 minutes to 30 minutes with your doctor.
That is unusual.
That is so unusual.
Yeah.
Because typically, maybe if you get 10 minutes,
you're lucky.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
And we have a team that works with each one of our patients, and that team consists of a doctor, a nurse practitioner, a nurse, 2 medical assistants. We also have a scribe, and that's a person who is in the background who's actually doing the notes while the doctor is truly paying attention to what you're saying.
So they're not there on their laptop typing stuff
trying to type and listen to you at the same time. They are
Right.
truly, engaged in the conversation that they're having with the patient. And then we have someone who helps you with insurance and helps you to navigate through that.
Okay.
And we also have a social worker on staff.
So dang, each person has like 10 people that are helping them.
To help you to think through, what's going on, and help you to truly manage your care.
Right.
Along with that, Oak Street Health, their model is to not only to work with you physically, but to also engage you, personally and socially. So we have a community relations department, along with what we have a community room.
You got lots of activities. I've seen the list.
We have bingo.
You got cards.
Yeah, cards, knitting clubs.
Yeah.
There's we have entertainment. So we had a summer concert series this summer.
Oh, did you really?
Yes.
I didn't hear about that one.
So we have so much going on, and you do not have to be a patient to come to our community rooms.
Oh.
We have 3 locations here in Indianapolis.
Right.
We have one on the south side, which is in Southern Plaza.
Yep.
One on the east side, which is in Irvington Plaza, and then one in Speedway Shopping Center.
Right.
Of course,
easy to find.
Easy to find. And the most important thing is that we provide transportation to and from our doctor's appointments. So, that's what's really hard a lot of times, and we hear that all the time.
Yeah.
That our patients say, I can't get, to the doctor's office. That's why maybe I've waited so long to go to the doctor, or that's why I went to the emergency room, because I didn't have transportation.
Exactly.
To go back and forth to
I hear that from the
appointment.
counties. That's one of the biggest things for seniors, is getting transportation to people so they can do what they need to do.
Exactly. So that's kind of what we do in a nutshell. We were born out of Chicago, Illinois. We have 3 founders that where I really when they thought about Oak Street Health, I really appreciated the fact that they thought about all the barriers that's preventing, for instance, like transportation,
Yeah.
understanding, insurance, having someone
And the
on staff for
Medicare,
that.
Medicaid, all that
Who
stuff is crazy.
understands all of that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think they even understand it.
So they kind of thought about those things at the beginning,
Mhm.
and when they created this model. So I really appreciate that. And another thing that's different about Oak Street Health is that our practitioners, that's what they do, is concentrate on the health care of our patients.
Right.
Then we have people, then we have a whole team of outreach employees. And that's what we do, is actually go out into the community. We do, we actually have a lot of things that we do in terms of helping the community. For instance, we have a senior care package program where we.
I didn't know you guys were out in the community
Yes.
besides the storefront. Oh, okay.
And so in case in case someone has a need where they can't get to a food pantry and they need
Right.
food. We just do a one-time service where we
Mhm.
will come out and deliver groceries to a senior.
Okay.
And then what we will do is then at that point is kind of do an assessment to see what's going on. Is there anything that we can do to help them to be able to get ongoing food if that is,
Wow,
the issue?
that's
Or
great.
sometimes it could be that, I'm just sick and shut in right now because, I have a cold or
Or maybe
something
they had
else is going
surgery
on, or
and they
they had
can't get-
surgery
yeah.
and can't get to the grocery store or to a food pantry.
Right.
And then we also have what we call senior shopping days. And we have those on all three sides of town.
Okay.
Where we have provided a day at a food pantry for individuals that are 55 and older to come and shop for groceries. And we
At Oak Street?
we
You take them
actually
to the
partner.
pantry.
We
Okay.
partner with, I think, for instance, on the east side, it's Westminster Neighborhood Services.
Okay.
We partner with them to provide a senior shopping day. And that senior shopping day, as a matter of fact, is today. It's on the third Wednesday of each month.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
every month, the third Wednesday of each month.
Mhm.
On the west side, we have partnered with St. John's Episcopal Church.
Okay.
And we have it on the fourth Wednesday of each month.
Okay.
So we have senior shopping.
That's
so
all
people
on your
go there.
website, right?
That's all on our
Okay.
website. Yeah.
And we do have that. It's not on the
If
screen
not,
right
you
now, but
can
it
always
will.
call me.
Yeah, call
and
Joni.
see. Yeah, call me, and that's on the screen. And then on the west side, we just got started with working with the refuge. So that's on the south. I mean, on the south side. So that's down
On
in
the south side.
Greenwood.
Okay.
So
Okay.
people need food. Then they can come on the fourth Monday of each month.
Mhm.
So we try to do anything
Do
that.
you get
is
a lot of
available.
folks for that?
Yes.
Do you
yes.
really? Okay.
Yes. Typically, for instance, on the east side at Westminster, usually it's a little over 100 people
Okay.
that come. I think last month we had 67 people to come on the west side, which is at St. John's Episcopal Church.
Right.
And then, of course, it will be our first time working next week on the 23rd
Okay.
at the Refuge.
Well, you guys have come a long way in 2.5 years.
We have. We
You know
really
what I mean?
have, yeah.
Now, I know you're out of Chicago. Did they come from Chicago straight to Indy, or I'm just curious of the layout? Are
Yes, yes, that was the first, after having several, I think there were probably maybe about 9 to 11,
In Chicago?
clinics in
Mhm.
Chicago. And then they decided, okay, you know what, this is going really well, and we see the need.
Right.
So then they decided to come to Indiana, and then then they actually started at the same time a clinic in Maryville, a
right.
clinic in Gary, and
Up in
then
those Chicago
then they
counties.
actually started 3 clinics in Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, we actually have a need for a clinic in Hamilton County. Up in the northern part. A lot of people think Hamilton County doesn't need anything, but we certainly do, and it'd be great to have. Are you guys going? Do you think? I mean, it sounds like they're expanding. Do you think they'll be?
Yes, and I do think we're going north. I don't know if we're going that far north, but we certainly are planning to build, and possibly even in 2018.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's going to be right here before you know it.
It will be, yes. It certainly will. We're approaching the end of the year.
It's coming up very fast. So I'm going to check with our.
we're still, a lot of the camera went down. I'm trying to get the camera, so you just keep on talking.
Okay, well then we'll just keep on talking.
Okay.
Okay, so you know, the one thing I really like about Oak Street is that you are not just dealing with the health of a person, you're dealing with the whole person.
Exactly.
So you're trying to, you know, bring together, you know, not just their health needs, but their, you know, their, you know, if they need food, if they need activities, if they need to get out.
Exactly. And you know what? And when you really think about, you know, the health of a person, it really is holistic, where spiritually and, you know, in terms of, you know, your physical needs as well.
Right.
Because you know, if you don't feel like you want to get up, and you know, you feel like you don't have any need, you know, any reason to live.
Right.
I mean, you know, a lot of times, you know, people's health will decline because
Oh,
of
very
that.
quickly.
So we really feel like that. Yeah, we really want to work with an individual holistically.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I failed to mention, Mary Pat, was that we are a Medicare physician's office.
Okay,
So it
that's
really
important.
is people who are on Medicare. So I want to make sure that our listeners understand that that is one of the things that, you know, we take Medicare insurance.
Right.
So,
Right. Is that, but that's not the only.
yes.
It is the Medicaid, is the only
Well,
thing.
matter of fact, now you can have certainly, I'm sorry, you
Is
can
it
have
Medicaid
other
or Medicare? I always get-
Medicare.
Medicare, thank you. I
So
always
you
get it
can, well,
confused.
there is a Medicaid.
No,
but
I
you
know.
can have other supplemental insurances,
Okay.
but the primary is Medicare.
Yes, which most people 65 and plus are
Have-
on.
Or you could say, for instance, you could be on a disability and be
That's
on
true.
Medicare as well.
Okay.
And that certainly has no age limit.
Okay, so those are good qualifiers
Good qualifiers.
as well.
exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you see, what do you think the average age of the people you're seeing coming in? Is
I
it,
would say that most people are over 65, but then we do have probably you know a good you know, probably a nice portion of people who are on you know, Medicare, you know, for some other reason, because, for instance, like disability.
right.
Yeah, so I mean, there are some that are on
Okay.
disability, and then you could have you know, Medicare and Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
You could be, you know, a portion of it could be Medicaid because you're indigent and you can't afford all of your insurance.
Right.
So that's a.
So that's when Medicaid kicks in.
that's where
Yeah.
Medicaid.
Somebody
comes
always
in.
told me Medicaid means aid.
Yeah, that's a good way to
That's
put
the way,
it.
and
Yes.
I try to remember that.
Yes,
but
that's
obviously I
true.
don't always remember that.
That's
so.
true. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So, well, what else can you tell us about Oak Street that you think people should know? What you talked about some of the activities.
Yes, in all of our clinics, we do have a monthly calendar,
Mm-hmm.
and anyone could come by and pick up a monthly calendar, or you can call into any one of our you know, clinics and ask for a calendar to be mailed to you,
Okay.
and find out kind of all the things that we're doing.
Do you do outings?
All the time, yes.
Okay,
For
see.
instance, and also we, typically maybe every other month. I don't think we have anything going this month. I think we had our movie. Usually have a movie matinee,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we had movie matinees at all sides of town in September. So we
Okay.
probably would do it again in November.
Okay.
Again, you know, we have you know, all kinds of, you know, concerts, and we're going into the holiday season, so I'm sure that we'll be having
Oh, yeah.
you know, concerts and sing-alongs and things like that for you know, like in terms of caroling and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah. Well, you know, and a lot of times, you know, you're a great alternative to a retirement community. So if
That's
somebody is living at home and wants to continue to stay in their home and they're safe, then they can come to you and have, you know, some of the activities that you would experience in a retirement community. You guys have
Exactly.
pretty much the same type of agenda.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I think it's important for people to know.
Exactly. Another thing too, we have silver sneakers.
Are you working with Silver
We're
Sneakers
working with
too?
silver
Okay.
sneakers, and we're
Mhm.
working with silver sneakers in all three of our clinics.
Oh, are you?
So,
Great.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was another thing to that people will be interested.
Yeah,
in
that's a great program. We YMCA is one of our advertisers as
Oh,
well, and they
yeah.
work a lot with the silver sneakers, and it's a great program for
Great program.
older people that to get into. So,
Yeah.
Joni, I want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much. We
Tell-
certainly appreciate the opportunity.
Our pleasure, and I'm glad that people got to find out and know about what it is that you do. Again, there is Mr. Daniels on the cover of the September issue of Indy Boomer. You can pick it up at any of the Kroger stores in Indianapolis and the surrounding counties. And we appreciate you watching today. Thank you so much.
It ain't too late at any age to hold on to a dream.